Hello everyone. So in today's video, we are going to be doing an unboxing as well as a sound test using this dual wireless lavalier microphone set made by the company Comica. Now the specific model that I have here with me today is their Boom XD2, which simply means that it comes with two microphone heads as opposed to their Boom XD1 model, which comes with one microphone. Now, at the current time of the recording of this video, you can find this microphone bundle selling on Amazon for approximately 339 Canadian dollars or 259 US dollars. Now, as mentioned before, for the duration of this video, we will be doing an unboxing to see exactly what you're getting for that price point, and we will follow this up with both an indoor and an outdoor sound test so that we can see how this microphone set performs in both quiet and in a more noisy environment. So without further ado, let's get to the unboxing of this dual wireless lavalier microphone set made by Comica. So right away when you open up the box, one of the first things that you notice is that there are three devices. There are two transmitters, so transmitter 1, transmitter 2, and then you have one receiver. So taking a look at the transmitter first, one of the first things that you can notice is that there is a built-in microphone that is on the transmitter. So you can use this as the source for picking up sound, or you can use the microphone input here, which would allow you to connect your lavalier microphone, which also comes inside this microphone bundle. Now, I think the more recommended way to use this microphone set is probably using the lavalier microphone, as it'll probably do a better job of isolating background noise. You can probably still use the built-in microphone maybe if you're doing like a handheld interview, so you can use that method as well in order to pick up your sound. Now, one of the nice features about this transmitter, as well as the receiver as well, is that there is a color display. So as soon as you power it up, just by holding on the button that's on the side, you can see that the colored display will give you some useful information. So one of the first things you'll notice is that to the top left corner, there is an indicator that tells you how strong your signal is and basically how strong your connection is with your receiver. So it tells you exactly whether or not you are in a proper working range. The second indicator will tell you whether or not your microphone is mute. So the way how you would do that is simply by clicking the mute button that's on the side. You toggle it, mute off, and then mute on. The third indicator is linked to your pair button. So you would long press on the pair button that's on the side. And once you do that, it'll start to search for a receiver that it can connect to. Now, the receiver right now is off for the moment, so for the time being, it's going to continue to search. To the far right, you will see that there is a battery indicator, and this tells you how much battery life is remaining on your device. It is to be noted that all three devices are rechargeable, and the way how you would do that is by charging it using the USB Type-C port that is situated on the side. One thing to take note of is that this bundle comes with one USB cable, so you can only charge one device at a time. It would have been nice if they would have been able to include a USB cable that would be able to charge all three devices at once, but at least they do offer you one cable, and you can simply use the USB charging block that comes with your smartphone. And if we're moving towards the bottom of the display, you can see that there is a sound meter, and it basically gives you an idea of how much audio the microphone is picking up. So whatever information you see here, it is going to be replicated on the transmitter B as well. And if you're looking towards the back of the transmitter, you can see that there is a clip as well, so you can use this to fasten it to your clothing if you are recording using this microphone. So that is the transmitter. So now let's go into the receiver. The way how you would power it up is in a very similar fashion. You will hold the button that's on the side and it will illuminate. And then you can see that the display is slightly different. One of the different things that you will notice is that there is a stereo icon that is on the top left. And the way how you can alternate that from stereo to mono is simply by clicking the button that's on the side. So this is going to give you the option to record transmitter A and transmitter B onto one channel or onto two channels, left and right. So this is a nice feature that Comica has included in this microphone bundle. If you move towards the right hand side, you can see that there is a power indicator similar to the transmitter. And then you can see that there's also a sound meter for both transmitter A and transmitter B. Right now it is only picking up audio from transmitter A because transmitter A is the transmitter that is on. And if you move towards the bottom, it gives you the volume controls. And the way how you would control that is by using A and B buttons on the side. So if you want to control the volume for transmitter A, you would simply click on it and then it will increase the gain levels. Now this works in a cyclical fashion. So if you want to go back to 0, you'd have to go back up to 12 decibels and then it would restart back at 0. And then you would do the same thing for B as well if you wanted to control the volume levels there. So this pretty much concludes the display portion. So if we're looking at the top of the receiver, you'll notice that there is a headphone jack. And this is a very nice feature that they have included here because it allows you to monitor or to listen to the audio as you are recording. Now, I have had a situation where I was recording audio and the audio was peaking, so the quality of the audio wasn't good. Having this headphone jack will be a good way for you to keep a track of how the audio sounds while you are recording. And if we look at the second port here, this is the output. So you would use this output to connect to whatever device that you are using. So if you are recording using a DSLR camera or a smartphone device, you would take your 3.5mm jack that also comes inside this bundle and you would connect it to your respective device. Now you will notice that on the back of this receiver there's also a clip. Now this clip here, you can use it to mount it onto the hot shoe mount of your DSLR camera, or you can also use it to just clip it on your smartphone, just like so. All right. Or if you're fortunate enough to get a cold shoe mount for your smartphone as well, you can also connect it using that cold shoe mount in the same way how you would connect to your DSLR camera. Okay. So these are the centerpieces of this microphone bundle. And as we go a little bit deeper into the box, we can see that there is a user manual. It's going to give you all the information that you need when it comes to operating your microphone. And it also gives you what the different specifications are for this microphone bundle as well. You can see here that there are 2 more boxes that come with more accessories. So in this box, you will see that there are 2 Lavalier microphones, which I did make reference to earlier. Lav 1, Lav 2. And one of the neat things about this Lavalier microphone is that there is a safety clip that's on it. So if I take one of the transmitters that's here, all right, I can take this and simply plug it into the microphone input that's here. And because of this plastic clip that's here, it's going to stay connected even if you try to pull on it. And the way how you would disconnect that is simply by pushing in and then pulling it out. Now this is very good because I'm sure that it's happened in the past where you have the microphone mounted onto the individual and then for some reason or another it just becomes disconnected and it disrupts the audio. So having this nice safety clip is a nice safety measure that Comica has included in this microphone bundle. And if we take a look inside the other box, you will see that there is a wind filter, or they're also known as a dead cat, probably because of how they look. And you would use this if you wanted to kill some of the wind sound that might enter into your microphone, the built-in microphone that's on the transmitter. So you would take this, slide it onto the microphone head, and then this would assist you in breaking some of that wind noise. And this is how it would look. All right. And then there is a USB Type-C cable, which I made reference to earlier. And then you will also notice that there are three 3.5 millimeter connectors. Okay, so depending on the device that you are using, if you're using a smartphone device, you would use the gray wire. If you're using your DSLR camera, Canon, Nikon, you would use the black wire. And if you're using a Sony, Panasonic, or Fuji, you would use the orange wire. They are all labeled, so there is less chance to get confused as to which wire should be used with which. And just to give you a quick example, you would take your receiver that's here. You would take, let's just say, if you're using a Sony, take this wire, plug it into the output of your receiver, and then the other end would go into your recording device. Okay, so these are all of the accessories that comes inside this microphone bundle. And as mentioned before, let's get into the sound test for this microphone bundle so that we can see exactly how they perform under different kinds of scenarios. So let's get with that right now. Alright, so for this indoor sound test, I'm going to be connecting the wireless lavalier microphone set to my DSLR camera as well as to my smartphone so that we can see how the microphone performs when it's connected to different types of devices. Some of you might be using this microphone for your smartphone or for your DSLR camera. Now, it's to be noted that as you are hearing me right now, it is through the built-in microphone that is on my DSLR camera. And I'm doing this just so that you can see the contrast between how the built-in microphone performs versus using an external microphone such as this one here. Now, for the sound test, I'm going to be reading a random commercial text that I found online. And I'm doing this so that the content is going to be consistent for all of the sound tests. So in doing this, it's going to be give you a better idea or a more fair representation of how the microphone performs. So without further ado, let's get the microphone all connected so that we can conduct this test. Okay, so I have the wireless microphone connected to the DSLR camera, and as you are hearing me, it is through the built-in microphone that is on the transmitter, as you can see it clipped on here. So in order to begin this test, let's start reading the random commercial text that I found online. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. The sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. Alright, so as you can see, I am now connected to the lavalier microphone that is here. And the lavalier microphone is connected to the transmitter via wire. And the transmitter is still communicating wirelessly with the receiver. So let's replicate the same test as we did before and start reading the sample text. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. The sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. All right, so this is how the lavalier microphone sounds when it is connected to my DSLR camera. So now let's do the second part of the indoor test where I will set up my smartphone device so that you can have an idea of how the microphone performs when being used with a smartphone. So let's do that right now. All right, so right now I have my smartphone recording and you are hearing me through the built-in microphone that is on the smartphone itself. So right now, let's connect the external microphone so that we can see the contrast and whether or not the microphone actually improves the audio quality from the built-in microphone. Okay, so right now I have the wireless microphone connected to my smartphone, and this is how the built-in microphone sounds on the transmitter. So just as how we did in the previous test, let's go ahead to read the sample commercial text to see how the microphone performs while using a smartphone. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. The sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. Alright, so this is how the built-in microphone on the transmitter sounds. So now let's connect the lavalier microphone to see how that performs. Alright, so right now I have the lavalier microphone connected to the transmitter, and the transmitter is still communicating wirelessly with the receiver, and again it's connected to a smartphone. So just like the previous example, let's go ahead to do the sound test while reading this sample text. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. The sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. Alright, so this pretty much concludes the indoor test using the microphone with both a DSLR camera and a smartphone. So for the second part of the sound test, we will be going outdoors to see how well the microphone secludes background noise in a noisy environment. And in addition to that, we will also do a range test to see the distance at which the microphone is able to operate when it is positioned away from the receiver. So without further ado, let's get into that test right now. Alright, so we're finally outdoors, and as you can probably tell, it's pretty noisy out. There's a lot of background noise, there's cars passing by. Behind the camera, there's a lot of pedestrians that are passing as well. And you'll also notice that it's pretty windy, so these are ideal conditions for us to see how the microphone can enhance the audio quality from a built-in microphone from your smartphone or your DSLR camera. So without further ado, let's get the transmitter or the built-in microphone from the transmitter connected so that we can see how it performs in a noisy environment. Okay, so right now I have the built-in microphone from the transmitter connected, and as you can probably tell, it's doing a lot better of a job to isolate the background noise, even though it's a fairly windy day and there's a lot of external elements that can introduce noise into the audio. So just like in previous tests, let's go ahead to read the sample text so that we can see or compare how the microphone sounds under these types of conditions. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. The sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. Alright, so this is how the built-in microphone from the transmitter sounds. So now let's go ahead and connect the lavalier microphone so that we can see how this performs under these types of conditions. Alright, so I have the lavalier microphone all connected, so let's go ahead and do the sample reading. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. The sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. Okay, so this is how the lavalier microphone sounds, as well as the built-in microphone that is on the transmitter. So now let's go and get the smartphone all hooked up so that we can see how that performs under these types of conditions. Okay, so as you are hearing me right now, it is through the built-in microphone that is on my smartphone. There is no external microphone that is connected. So I'm sure that you can probably tell that it's picking up some of the background noise. So let's go ahead and connect the built-in microphone on the transmitter to see exactly how this performs in a noisy environment. Alright, so right now I have the built-in microphone from the transmitter connected to the smartphone, and as you can probably already tell, the microphone is doing a lot better of a job to isolate the background noise. So just like in the previous example, let's go ahead and read the sample text so that we can make a comparison. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean. The rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying. the sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect the Lavalier microphone and see how this microphone performs under these types of conditions. All right, so right now I have the Lavalier microphone connected, so let's go ahead and do the same sound test as what we did previously. Do you remember parasailing off the coast of Jamaica? The way the water sparkled below, a beautiful green-blue gradient of ocean, the rush of the wind lifting you as you were literally flying, the sound of the air gliding against the silken canopy of your sail. All right, so this is how the built-in microphone from the transmitter and the Lavalier microphone sounds. So let's go ahead to do a range test to see how far away we can stand from the receiver and still have the microphone operate. Now, Comica is making a claim that it can function up to 50 feet away. So let's go ahead and put that claim to the test. All right, so for this range test, what I want to do is to simply take incremental steps away from the receiver so that we can see how far away the microphone is capable of operating at. Now, I don't have a tape measure with me, so the only sort of logical way to do this is to count the number of steps away. And I would say that there's probably maybe 1.5 feet for every step that I take. So hopefully we can get to the 50 feet of range being claimed by Comica. So let's start that right now. I would say that I'm approximately 7.5 feet away from the camera, or 5 steps away. So let's continue from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. All right, so we completed the range test, and as you just saw, the microphone was operational at the 50-foot mark as what was claimed by Comica. Now, when we take into consideration how the microphone has performed overall, we used the microphone indoor and outdoor with a DSLR camera as well as with a smartphone. And I think we saw that in all of the cases, it did do a good job of enhancing the overall sound quality versus the built-in microphone from the respective devices. And I think we really saw the microphone shine when we were using it outdoors, as there was a lot of background noise and we were also positioned a little bit farther away from the camera as well. I think we saw how it did a good job of isolating the background noise. So these are the case scenarios where you're really going to find the value in using an external microphone. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please don't hesitate to hit the like button, as it does help us to grow. If you have any question, any type of comments that you want to leave, please drop them down below, as I do enjoy hearing from you. And if you would like to see more content such as this, please hit the subscribe button, as this too does help us in our overall growth. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you at the next video.